Hey guys, today we prepared a little tank tutorial and tank stuff for you because yeah, we are not so bad at driving in a tank, and yeah, it's not so bad, and we want to share our experiences with you, and so we prepared a few points for you. So the first thing is we will present to you is general stuff like perks and what you have to do. Then do's, what you have to care about, stuff like that. Then don'ts, and the last point is what the gunner has to do and what the driver has to do. So these are our points. At first, we will start with general stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so the perks you should use, the first perks you should use is for the driver. You should definitely use the reactive armor, which gives you one additional life, I would say. So you see them down on the icon, the 3 plates, left, right, and behind, and you can take one more hit from a tank. So
without giving it damage. So
yes,
helpful.
and you also can repair them as the repair guy. If you just repair the whole side, like back and forth, yeah, they'll reappear. So the next pack is the IR smoke. Yeah.
The IR smoke, for example, when Endgame came out, everyone just sat around with their javelin in their hand, and when you have an IR smoke, you can just dodge them, and that's very helpful. So smoke, it will appear in, I don't know, maybe I guess one minute or half minute or stuff like that, and then you can use it again and again and again, so it won't go away. You have it unlimited.
Okay, and then for the gunner, the most important perk ever is the surround scan.
Or also known as proximity scan.
Yes, that's its real name, but we call it surround scan. Okay, now you see it down below on the map. You see there's this little circle around the tank, and in this circle and even further away you can see enemies on the map. They get spotted, so you know if someone wants to play C4 or something like that, which is really helpful.
Especially in city maps.
Yes.
Alright, the next point is do's, what you have to do. So when you play with a friend, you have to use TeamSpeak, Skype or whatever. So you really have, it is necessary to communicate with him.
Yes.
Because when you don't, there will be misunderstandings and you will be fucked. Let's just point it out that way.
Yes. Even if you communicate, there are misunderstandings and sometimes you do mistakes, but they're few, so just use something like that. It's really helpful.
Yeah. The next thing is play on a very open map like Caspian Border, Kark Island like we do now, and try to avoid city maps like Saint Crossing, for example, or
yes,
Marcus Monument.
Because there are way more possibilities to get hit by stingers or something. Like they're all sitting on the roofs with their RPG stingers, and behind every corner there's a guy with C4. So don't play on city maps. Tanks are not good on them.
Alright, one thing you really have to do is watch out for mines, because when you don't, you get fucked.
Yeah, you can always, if you drive and don't have anything to do, just look ahead and hit Q.
Yeah.
So, because if you hit Q, you can spot them and then you see them and won't drive over them.
Most of the people place like 3 mines on the ground, and 3 mines are enough to kill you by 1 hit. Alright, that's it for the do's. Now, what you don't have, what you're not allowed to do. First thing, never ever leave a tank behind.
It's like, don't do it. Because if you leave a tank behind which is not totally dead, then 100% sure there will be an enemy and he will take it, and then you have more tanks against you than with you, and that's always bad. Because, which leads to the next point, never fight against more than 1 tank, because 2 tanks obviously win against 1 tank, and if you leave tanks behind, the enemies will have more tanks, and you will always face more than one tank at a time, and that's bad.
Okay, the next thing you're not allowed to do is drive backwards into an objective, because when you do, and a tank shoots you, you don't have reactive armor or something like that, he will disable you with one shot.
Because from the backside you get double damage.
Yeah.
And some people don't know that, so.
And also when you hit the gun, you will also do double damage. So that's one very important thing.
When you hit the tower.
Yeah, and when you have less life than your opponent has, so you're superior to him when you know where you have to hit him to kill him with 2 shots.
Or with less shots.
Yeah, with less shots, let's say.
Yeah. Then. Yeah, for the gunner especially, don't shoot like I did that at the beginning because at the gunner you oftentimes have times where you just sit around and don't have anything to do. So I tend to just shoot at, I don't know, helicopters which are miles away, and now I don't do this anymore because if you shoot, enemies will see you on the map, and that's bad, and you can't hit helicopters from like over the half of the map. It's just impossible.
Yeah, you will just attract them, and they will kill you, especially the attack choppers.
Yes.
Or driver, stay moving while fighting other tanks. Move away, especially behind, like on Karik Island, move behind rocks or containers or stuff like that. Things that give you cover and that won't go away with one shot. So when you have an open map, like let's say Armored Shield, you're not having enough cover. So you are like 90% sure that the enemy will hit you. Then you will just die eventually. So the next thing a driver has to do, use your secondary weapon. I've seen many tank drivers, especially professional ones, that drove in the tank and only used their big gun, like this one we have equipped now. Because when you have enemies in front of you, like infantry, and you shoot them with your big gun, you will kill him maybe, but then a tank appears out of nowhere and you're fucked again, because he can shoot and you're not.
Because you have to reload.
Yeah, exactly. We're talking about little guns. There are 3 things you can equip as secondary weapons on your tank: the HMG, so the heavy machine gun; the LMG, light machine gun,
which you use.
No, I'm using the HMG.
Oh yeah.
And the canister shell. The advantage of the LMG is that you can shoot faster and kill enemies faster, but it has a cooldown, so it will overheat. And now the HMG, that's my favorite one, it shoots a little bit slower than the LMG, but it won't overheat, and it will also do additional damage against helicopters and
planes
and jeeps and stuff like that.
Yes.
And it's very effective against infantry. You need like 3 or 4 or 5 shots to kill one, and it doesn't overheat, so that's the biggest advantage a gun can have.
Both of them, the LMG and the HMG, don't have to reload. That's
Yeah, they have unlimited ammo. But it's your choice what you're using. So
yes, it's just
both of them have their advantages and disadvantages. Now the last point that a driver has to take care of is when a tank is under heavy fire, use your smoke, get out and help the gunner to repair, because the gunner has to repair because he's your bitch. Let's just point it out that way.
one very important point. You don't see it there because you see the version of the driver.
Yeah.
But if you are the gunner and you have to get out to repair, like nobody ever knows this. Just turn your gun away. You will always get out.
Turn it like to the back side of the
Yes,
tank.
you will always get out on the side where you're facing at the moment. So just before getting out, just turn away, so you will get out on the back side of the tank, so you won't get hit.
Alright, that's everything from the driver. Now let's continue to the gunner.
Yes, we actually said some things about the gunner. The gunner obviously needs to be an engineer so he can repair.
When you're a medic and you try to revive the tank, that's pretty useless.
Yes, that's
Make sure you're the engineer.
Not medic. Engineer, so you can repair.
And yeah, one thing we already said.
Turn away.
Turn away. And also one thing very important, playing Battlefield 3, and also very common, is when you are facing a tank and you can't avoid a battle against these two, use your smoke, get in, move a bit forth and shoot him and get back. The smoke will cover you and the guy won't see you. Many guys a really big problem at dodging them and spotting them through the smoke, and that gives them a very big advantage. So make sure you rated the video or commented on it if you have more questions. You can also subscribe to our channel if you want to see more guides for games. That's our channel name.
Yeah.
And yeah, have a nice day.
Yeah, bye.